Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Let us wait for 2 more minutes, then we'll start.
Raj, in the meantime, since we are waiting, can I ask one question on the substance part? Raj, I am facing one issue in my environment. I'm not sure is it related to the specific environment or this is intended functionality. There is one absence type which we are using here in Middle East, which is Hajj participation leave. So we define the unit of
Slowly. I'm not that fast. Which leave type?
yeah Hajj participation. Actually, this is specific to company to company. Hajj participation is nothing. Yeah, you can say Hajj leave. It is Hajj participation actually.
Okay,
People who go and facilitate, who go and facilitate in Hajj, company gives them some kind of leave. So in that one, we defined it and we migrated the previous data into the Fusion. Now, actually, when I noticed, I found that the days were defined as calendar days, where it's supposed to be working days. So when I'm trying to go and update it, it's not allowing me. This unit of measure field remains freezed.
You have to reconfigure it. Once you define the days, you can't change it.
But I think you remember we were doing it in our environment, and you go to absence type.
Reason is because there was no transaction at that time. Okay, if you perform the transactions, it will. Did you try to do in the update mode?
Yeah, I tried with the update mode, correct mode, everything I tried, and I was thinking why it is not allowing for update because future dated we don't have any
calendar. Yeah, I remember it. Plan we can keep it, but I think leave type we have to change it. So there is one of the component we need to change it. Let me think. Yeah, you have to redefine it. We can't have no other options to create a separate leave type. Tell to the business this is intended functionality of the Oracle, and this decision we have to take it initially only. Now it need to be get redefined. Or what you can do, but it will be a challenge for you. Like you can exclude those number of days from the from your formula. If you want, you can write it down. Like you can write it like if it is a. Are you having a different shift pattern? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Thank you.
No, are you having a different shift pattern or it's a straight shift like from Monday to Friday straight time? No. Okay.
Raj, just give me a moment. Actually, I was with the doctor, so just give me one.
Okay. Okay, so what I will do, I will continue from the yesterday. We left at the accrual plan. So for test it, what we will do, we will go and create the absence type. It will give us a confident that whatever we have configured is working perfectly fine. Okay. Okay, conversion formula not required. Eligibility, we will select it. All active employees. So this is my eligibility profile. Unit of measurement was calendar days. And legislative data group was this one. Active status is active. Okay, coming up to the minimum maximum duration, we had already seen it. So we are not putting it over these condition again. Evaluation, we are keeping it by default. Multiple assignment not required. Updates, we can keep it. Lock if employee. This is just, we had seen it in the past as well. And I'm not putting, I'll put it mandatory for employees. Okay, I'll not put this also. Okay, just a simple, correct? This is all we know how to do it, how to use it. Okay. Coming up to the plan and the review, we will attach the plan type that we have created. Yeah, this is our plan. Priority is 1, active. Okay, and absence reason. If we have created any absence reason, yes, this is an absence reason we have created. Okay. Coming to the display features, the only thing that we have to keep it is two things you have to do. Attachment not required, actually. Display and yes. Now we required approving processing will be there. Deferred not required. Approving processes enabled for all of them. Okay, this is required to all three of them. Additional payload, yes, we need to configure the workflow, so we will be enabling it for the all these employees part. Okay, concurrency is there. Approvals on update, enable and enable. Keep it no for HR. Okay. Projected balance, yes, because this is of the type accrual plan, so we need to keep this projected balance to be get enabled. Okay, so insufficient balance, we can keep it for all three of them. Then we are having this preferred date, absence start date, absence end date, display and edit, absence entry date is there, schedule not required, absence validation, start validation, absence start validation, we can keep it for manager. Late notifications are not required. So this is my configuration of the absence. Additional action is not required. Additional action items also not required, and thus save it. So now what we will do, we will test the objective is to test our accrual plan, whether it is working as per the requirement. So what we will do, we will log into the application. Okay, and then we will search for the employee. Okay. Now the first step, whenever we are pay attention now, because the whatever we have learned in the past, we had already seen it. But now what we have to do it, whenever there is an accrual plan leave type or leave we are creating it, we have to do the enrollment. Okay, so this is just like a class in a sample way I'm doing it. So for individual person, if I want to do it, like if I'm doing a testing or if I want to do manual basis also, so what we have to do, we have to come on this particular page. Now this is available to only the administrator, not to the employee or the manager. This is available to the HR administrator. What they have to do, they have to come on this particular page and then they have to click on the enrollment and adjustment. Okay, so when I click on enrollment, I have to enroll this employee. Okay, effective from 1st of Jan 2022. So we have to select the plan name, the plan that we configured yesterday, and then we will submit it. Now this is what we had done it. We had done it manually, but ideally we will see the processes. I will show you the processes. There are 3 processes are there, which is important for the leave annual leave type. Okay, for the accrual part or for enrolling for running the accrual. So now what I had done, I have attached this plan. Now, if you see, my plan is active, is of the type accrual, but the balance, okay, the balance is showing me as a 0 balance days, okay, 0 calendar days. So to calculate the balance, what we have to do, we have to go back again to this particular plan. Okay, so currently what it is showing me, it is showing me 21 days. Okay, why it is showing me 21 days? Okay, because this person has completed 5 years in an organization, correct? So that's why the accrual on the first month, the date which I have run it, now it is giving me a periodic accrual of 3 days. Okay, and when I move to the next month, that is in the month of Feb, how many days it will come? How many days?
6.
6 days. So we'll go to it. Why? Because this person maybe has completed 5 years in an organization. So for those who had completed 5 years, so they are eligible for, I think, 36 days of the entitlement. So we can go and search it by the month of December. Yeah, okay, 30 days we had given it. Is it correct?
30 days in this case, then Raj, it's supposed to be 2.5 for the first
Ah,
month, right?
that's what maybe okay. We will run the accrual process, then we will see. Now, here what we are seeing it there, the balance is coming as a 0. Now what we have to do is to bring the balance, we have to run this accrual process. So first one is for the enrollment, and the second one is for the running the accrual. So we normally do it on the monthly basis. So I have attached this plan as of 1st of Jan. So I will run it on the 31st of Jan. I will submit it. As soon as I run this, it will show me the balance. Okay, let me go and again visualize this particular plan. So now what I'm having I'm having a balance of 3 particular days. Now what I will do, if I want a balance for the next month, I have to run the accrual for the month of Feb. Now this is, we have attached it manually. That's why I'm going month by month. And it is need to be done month by month because our periodic cycle is monthly. Okay. And when we are doing it in the production environment, when we are doing it, so there is a schedule process. We'll learn it, which will be get scheduled. So this will, both these processes, the processes of enrollment and the accrual, will be taken care by the backend process. So let me run it for the month of this is still the month of March, April, and now we will do it for the month of May. Okay, this is, I am running it manually for one by one. Okay, but in the real time scenario, it's not required to run this manually one by one. When we are doing the testing, okay, then we should run it, but ideally it should be taken care by the system. Okay, for the month of July, and even we can run the for the month of August as well. Okay, so till month of July, how many days? 21 days. Let's go back to this. Let us go into the details. So every month it is occurring how many days? 3 days. But when we are going to 31st of December, this is what is troubling me. Why it is so 24. Okay. In the month of September, it will be 27 September, October. Now tell me why it is giving me 30th on this date. If I'm doing it on the month of December, it is giving me 30 days only. Why?
Maybe in the plan,
Hmm?
we have set the max balance we can have is 30 days.
Who's this? Vijay. Very good, Vijay. So what we had done it when we were configuring the plan in the ceiling, you remember ceiling is there. So I had put that 30 days over there. So it will not go beyond 30 days. Got it? Okay.
Okay.
Now what we will do, let us apply some leave. So we will see the leave balance as well, how it is going to calculate. So I'm going to this leave. I will select this leave type. No entitlement type, we are creating the leave, then the balance, the plan was getting attached, whereas in the accrual type, we have to enroll first, and then only we can apply for a leave for the employee. So from first of this, I will apply for 8 days of leave. Okay. Reason I will select it, and then I will submit this. Okay. So what happened is that system automatically deduct these leave days from my leave balance. Okay, this will automatically going to deduct. So if we go and check it again, okay, so if we go and check it by the month of August, okay, my leave balance will be reduced to 16. Clear? And the future date, why this is showing as a projected? Because I have not run the accrual process. Whatever the accrual process for the previous month I have run it, it is not showing me as an projected, but for the future month, see, if you see the periodic accrual status is not showing me as an projected, but for the month of August, it is showing me as a projected. That means that my balance after the month of August will be 20, whatever this is. So for calculating it, let me run it for the month of August as well. Okay. And now we will see the balance as of 31st of August. So now it was not showing me as a projected. Clear now? This concept of running the accrual process enrollment is clear to all of you. Any questions on this? This is the main part in configuring this component. Otherwise, it's very straightforward. We had seen the example, two example we have seen it. If you have understand the key points that we have to take in on the carryover part, key point that is little bit become a complicated is from the accrual metrics part. That is a one thing. And the third part, sometime validation, the validation which is beyond the configuration, where we need to configure as a formula. So these three are the, I feel from my side, it's a time consuming activity, not tough, but a time consuming activity. Why? Because we need to spend some good amount of time for doing a testing, for configuring it, for training, for issues. So these are if these three things are in control, then absence management is straightforward configuration. Okay, so this is my whole summary for this absence management. And now we will understand the processes. But before I move to the process, any questions?
Yes, Raj. Like when we are applying this absence, we will go to the OTL. Like, say, I'm applying an absence over here, and that absence should reflect in the OTL time
reverse.
card.
It is reverse. It is reverse. Not the absence will go to my OTL time card, whereas it will in OTL I will define the time card itself. Okay. So what normally happen is that when I'm applying it, yeah, you can configure it. Actually, you can configure. Yes, you can configure in your absence also. You
I
can bring
saw
your
both
absence.
ways,
Yes.
but I don't know
Yeah,
how
you
they
can,
did it.
you can bring your absences in your OTL module as well, where it will be defined that the person has taken the annual leave or sick leave or unpaid leave. You can
Yes,
do
yes.
that. The time card will be get created of the absence.
Yes,
In
yes.
what I'm covering as a standard process, okay, I'm covering the standard process on the OTL. So maybe we can see the administrator page as well, where the entries are coming. Okay.
Okay.
Any other question regarding the absence?
Yes,
Raj,
yes,
how?
Raj. Yes.
Hmm.
See, normally in software industry, Saturday, Sunday are holidays. So I can take a leave on Friday, and I can take a leave on Monday also. It will be considered 2 days. In the case of production kind of organizations, if we take like that, they will consider it as a 4 days leave. So how we will handle it in this?
Two ways are there. Okay, two ways are there. One, if we know that for example, you had given me example of software industries and the production based industries. Okay, so we have to configure the two leave type. One will be on the basis of the days, another will be basis on the calendar days. Okay, if and only if it is fixed, like it should not happen like today they are on this calendar days, tomorrow they move to the working days. So, okay, if it is a rule or the business logic is there that okay, if they are working as a back office and all the time when they're applying for a leave, it will be going to be as a calendar day. So define two different types of leaves. Okay, you can select it like annual leave for one particular group and another particular group. So from the eligibility, you can control them. Okay, so two different leave type we have to define it. Other way is that we create a time schedule itself. Okay, we create a time schedule itself. Assignment type, the time card we can create it, and the work schedule. Sorry, the work schedule assignment that can be created, and from there you can define that as a working day. So they will be like for me like a normal staff who is working. So there I will define Saturday and Sunday as my off day. Okay, Saturday and Sunday as my off day. Whereas for the production based staff, I will define that as a working day. But it should be how your payroll is defined. Okay, if we are using a standard formula calculating the FTE, so their salary may get impacted. So that check we have to put it. If there is our own formula is written, then other workaround. This is a workaround normally that I can define a work schedule for them as a working day on even Saturday and Sunday. But this is just a manipulation. This is just a manipulation of my work. But ideally, the best way of doing it, define two different types of leave.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me move to the process or part as well. I request all of you to do this practice, okay? Because this module is in demand. In demand in the sense we face lots of questions and answers on this part, and it is favorite of senior management also. Everyone wants to apply for a leave, and from the technology point of view, this is a very easy and a simple module as well. Okay, so for running and submitting these processes, where we have to go to the schedule and monitor absence process. So here there are three processes that we should run it. We should know about it primarily. Okay, if you are new, you should know about these processes. One is my update accrual plan enrollments. Okay, so what this process normally do, as I log into this employee, first thing what I did, I click on the add enrollment. Okay, so the add enrollment is happening for an employee, for a single employee. But assume that every day there are new joiners are coming, every week there are hundreds or 200 employees are coming. So do we go and enroll them manually one by one? No. So we schedule this, we run this process. Okay, we run this process, which we call as a evaluate employee events for enrollment and termination accrual plan. Okay, so this process need to be scheduled on the regular basis. Okay, so we have an option to run this process single time, or we can schedule it. So for running for scheduling this process, we will go to under the advanced tool on the top on the advanced. Okay, under this you will find a scheduler option. I will use the scheduler option over here, use schedule. Okay, I will define it that I want whether depend on the organization to organization. This is no every day we are hiring 100 employee, every 2 hour, 3 hour we want, but ideally keep it on the daily basis, because normally people join, they are on probation period, they are not applying for a leave. So in a day is enough. So, okay, so I'll schedule this as on the daily basis. Okay, it should run on the daily run. Okay, and then I will select starting time and the end time. So now this need to be run for so many years. So I can put it like a 2025. Okay, so I'm scheduling this process. You can change the date as well, whatever the date and time you want. You can change to UTC, you can change to London, you can change to whatever the time frame zone you are working, you can choose it. Okay, then other important part is the parameter. Okay, when we come to the parameter, we select the current date, the date we have implemented this particular leave type, we can select it. Okay, and then we have a different parameter. Okay, whether we want to run it for one person or a legal employer, or for absence type absence plan. So normally we run it for the absence plan that we have created. Okay, so for each absence plan, you schedule it one process. Why? Because if tomorrow, if we want, suppose there are 4 or 5 plan you have created. Okay, and maybe country wise also you are creating it, so better to schedule it on the plan level. So tomorrow if some debugging is required, you can easily debug it. What debug? Like for example, some people may complain that I am not able to got the annual leave, or I did not get enrollment. So this is the process. If this process is not running for that particular employee, then the enrollment will not going to happen. Okay, so we normally choose the absence plan. If some other parameters are common, you can select like legislative data group or your payrolls. Okay, so these are the parameter that we normally schedule it. You can also define the notification as well. Notification that once it is get completed, okay, once it is get completed and fail or what, so on success, on warning or error, you can send an email to a respective person. Okay, so this is how we can able to schedule this process. Scheduler is there and the parameters. So these three things we should know it whenever we are scheduling an enrollment process. Clear about this update enrollment plan, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second process is, if you remember, when I attach the enrollment plan, I run the accrual process from the month of Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, and July. What is this process is all about? It is all about the calculate accrual and balances. So it will give me the periodic accrual like 2.5, 3 days, or 1.8 based on my entitlement. Now, this particular process is going to be schedule it on again on the regular basis. Okay, again on the regular basis. So for scheduling this process, same option we have to use it. Go to the advanced, select a scheduler. Okay, you can schedule it half an hour time period also, or depending on the number of employees. Suppose if you're scheduling that update enrollment in the morning 4 o'clock, then schedule this in the morning itself at 8 o'clock or 8:30, so that when employee come and log in, they will be having a updated balance. So that time frame you can able to schedule these processes. Okay, use a scheduler. Okay, frequency is a once in daily. Okay, and then same starting time and end time. What are the parameters? Under this, we will see effective date, that from which date I want to run it. It will be basis on the incremental. So on daily basis, it will run. Increment effective date means that today is 1st of August. If it is running tomorrow, the effective date will be 2nd of running day after tomorrow, and so far and so on. Again, you having a choice that under which plan or for which particular legislation you are running it. So select your plan. Okay, absence plan that you have configured, select for the plan type, and then you can schedule it. When it's scheduling it, same way notification will also you can configure. Okay, so this is both processes are clear, enrollment and the calculate accrual. Okay,
yeah.
Let me move to the third one. Third one is for the evaluate absence. Now, this process is what happen is that this calculate the unprocessed absences. What are unprocessed absences? Say I apply for a leave and then the calendar event got defined. A calendar event is the unprocessed. Okay. Say I apply a leave in the past. I apply a leave in the past, and say unpaid leave, which I give an example that if that is happening, then what this process do normally, it will see that what all entries are being done, the duration that we are selecting, the 30 days and 90 days of duration that we are selecting it. During that period of time, it will see whether any changes happen, changes in the sense annual leave is got applied, event got created, or employee moved from one leave type to another leave type. Or if during the annual leave absences, if I apply for unpaid leave, which have reduced my balances. So all these evaluation, all leave type, okay, if you noticed it, in this particular process, we do not have a parameter of a leave type or a plan type. See, if you notice in this parameter, there is no option available. Like we have a person, we have a BU, we have a legal employer, we have a payroll, we have a relationship group, we have a legislator data group, but we do not have a absence type. It means that it will going to select the all the absences that person has applied. Okay, there are different types they have given it. This is recently they have introduced it, that evaluate only the duration get changed. So duration in the sense, like for example, I don't want to impact my my balances because of unpaid leave or any other criteria. I just want to see, like I suppose I define a calendar event that a day after tomorrow there will be a say a Nag Panchami off. Okay, but company decided no, this year we are not giving a Nag Panchami off, so we need to withdraw that absence. So those who had not applied it, not applied it, in that scenario, it will check it that my duration is calculated correctly or not. So I can use it, evaluate only the deferred absences. Deferred absences in the sense that I applied it, okay, which is got deferred like a sequential way. How after one by one, if I applied it, only evaluate those absences. Okay, so these four options they had given it. And last one is the extended open-ended. So what are the open-ended leave absences are there? Like military leave. Military leaves normally or the secondment leaves are there. So some people may move from one organization to another organization and they went on the secondment. Like they are getting salary, but getting salary from both. So these are the leave which are open-ended. We don't know. So evaluate that as well. Normally, we choose the parameter as a evaluate all absences. So it will do the plus minus and it will bring the up-to-date record. Okay, so this is going to impact on my retro process as well. Why it's going to impact the retro process? Suppose, for example, if I have applied for annual leave and some leave days got reduced or get plus, and if I am doing some calculation on my gratuity or somewhere, so that will be also be taken as a part of my consideration. Okay, so we have to be very much careful when we are running this process manually, especially for the backdated leave. always try, if it is must, like if I am defining a workday type of absence, this process we need to schedule it, this is must. But always try to follow as on current date. Don't run this process manually for the backdated one. We are human. There are so many people are working on the application, and we don't know what all changes they may do in an application. It have a lots of impact. Okay, it impact your retro processes in your payroll. It impacted your absences balances. Okay, so this process we have to run it carefully. Always do it when if some changes business is asking. Always do in the test environment. Evaluate the impact, what impact is going to happen it, and then only run the process in the production environment. Okay. So for running the process, same. I am not showing you how to schedule it. We know how to schedule these absences. Select your parameter from which date you want to schedule it. Increment effective date. Select for which legislation you are running this particular process. Okay. Run this, schedule this basis on the legislation, or if required, you can schedule it on the BU level as well. Okay. Like in your case, there are two different types of employees are there, working day and as well as a calendar day. Yeah. So you can schedule this process basis on the BU. Okay. So for working day only you should schedule it, but for calendar day, no need of scheduling this evaluate absence. Clear to all of you about these processes?
First two are clear. This one little bit confusing. Evaluate absences. Tomorrow I will come up again. I will watch and I will.
It's not confusing. It's a good features. So tell me one thing. Let me open an Excel sheet. So let me know if this is visible or not. Excel sheet is visible or not.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's simple. It's not a like a rocket science. Okay. So what normally happen is that, suppose for example, I have defined my leave type. I have defined my leave type as a working day. Okay. Correct. Now what happened is that I apply a leave from say 14th of August 2023 till say 17th of August 2023. How many days?
4 days.
How come? Yeah,
Yes.
4 days of leave I have applied, correct?
Yes.
Now, what happened is that this is already applied. This is already applied in the system. Now, what happened is that 15th of August, there was a public holiday. Correct? 15th of August, there is always a public holiday, and we forget to define this calendar event. I will show you how to define the calendar event. We forget to define this calendar event, and today we realize that okay, there is no calendar events is there. So we go and define the calendar event. When we define this calendar event, what will happen? This evaluate absence process. Okay, this evaluate absence process will run because the duration is 30 days plus and minus. It will check the leave which is applied from today. Today is what, 22nd. So 23rd of July till 31st of August. If any leave we had applied it, it will check it. And this evaluate will check it. Okay, it will check these dates. It will go and check this particular date. Okay, calendar event is there. So what will happen? It will reduce this number of days from 3 to 4. So 4 to 3. So what? Yeah. So my duration, what happened is that my duration will automatically get changed from 4 to 3. I don't have to go and manually delete or update or do the changes. So this is the job of this particular evaluate absence process. Now,
so when the duration is getting adjusted, the balance will also get adjusted, right?
of course, yes, it based on the number of days. So my dates will remain same. 14th till 17th, I applied for like for example, you are applying Saturday and Sunday as your off.
It's based on working days, right, sir?
Sorry? Yeah,
it's based
only
on working days.
Yeah. So this is my leave type is of the type, unit of measurement is of the type days. Simple. Okay. If I'm defining my absence plan, absence type, a unit of measurement as a days, in that scenario, what does it mean? That my leaves are on the working day, the number of days I am working in an organization, not on the calendar day. Calendar day is for the full month, working day is only for the 22 days. In 22 days, I will be getting a lower leave balances because I can utilize those as a weekend. I can club it and I can use it. So two type of model normally works. One, now calendar days normally comes where we are having like a construction businesses are there, straightforward, no complications. Whereas working day, where companies are more employee friendly, they want employee to utilize their leave in proper manner. So there we use a calendar day. Sometimes what happens, people are applying, not applying, nobody's checking it. So it's having a both analysis, we can do it, what type of leave we should define it. But when we define as a calendar day, this is a scenario. Another scenario, what I was giving it, like if I'm applying for Saturday and Sunday, okay. Now the same manner, it is going to work for Saturday and Sunday now. So more normally, this is work on the event. Suppose, for example, if my shift got changed, okay, if my shift got changed from instead of Saturday, I have to work is on Monday, but I already apply a leave for Saturday. Now, this is a one scenario, okay, this is a one scenario. Or maybe I have only off for a 1 day, but even I apply a leave for a one particular day and my shift is getting changed. So this is the job of this evaluate absence process, which will take care of the things. Clear?
Okay.
Now, on the absence part itself, we should know it to define the calendar event. So we'll go to the setup and maintenance. So there is a task called calendar event. Okay. Manage calendar events. Yeah. Under this manage calendar event, we can define our own events. That is a public holiday. Suppose, for example, if I want to define, okay, if I want to define a okay, what type of category? It's going to be a public holiday. It's going to be a public holiday starting from 15th of August. Okay. Till okay. So whenever we are defining it, okay. Now I will see that why I'm
15
putting
will be like it will come to the next day, right? Like 15, 11:59 we should define, right?
it will not work. Okay, that's
No.
what. Yeah, it will not going to work. There is a this is the way we have to define it. So if I'm applying for only for 1 day for 15, so it should be 16th of August till 12 a.m. Okay, always remember this. If you are putting it 15, 8, 23, 59.59, it is not going to work. Okay, always remember this. So whenever you're defining it, take a next day with a 12 a.m. Clear?
Okay.
It's I had especially showed to you. Okay. Then we select a hierarchy type, whether we want a geography one or the organization one. Normally, this is as per the location. Geography is as per the location. Okay, so we normally choose it, say, for example, let me select for
the time, the 12 a.m. Is that noon in the afternoon, is it?
AM is morning.
Morning.
No, but 12 is, the morning starts at 0.01, right? So
that is what I asked. He's saying
yeah,
it will not work.
12 a.m. is in that's a noon, is it not?
No. Noon is no. There is no noon over here.
In a 24-hour clock, 12 is a noon only.
12 is a noon, but it is not 24 hours. It's work on
12
this
12 hours, is it?
well, yeah. You can debate it. You can go
I'm
why.
not debating, I'm just
No, I am giving you the simple solution. Don't use a brain. Don't use a brain. Okay. Use whenever you are selecting the days, use the next day.
If it is a 24-hour clock, you will not give AM PM, right?
You have to give it. It's system. This is the Oracle Fusion application.
Okay.
This is the configuration, and why I'm doing this. Because one of the customer was facing this problem for so many months, and they say we could not able to do it. We have to give one more additional day. So this is the solution that I proposed them, and it works perfectly fine. So that's what I am transferring it to all of you. If you have to define a single day, use this format. No need to think why, what, where, how. Don't
Okay.
go into it. Okay. If there is a single day, choose from 12 a.m. till next 12 a.m. Okay. If you are choosing 12.01, it will be considered as a next day as well. But if I'm stopping at 12 a.m., it will be considered as a previous one. There are certain time factors are there which in the backend code system will not able to understand. So that's why we are putting it this particularly. Okay, if the logic is written in a proper way, then we do not have a problem. But the working days logic, the formula that they use in the backend does not having a capability to go up to the second. Okay, so that's why we are defining this. Okay, so let me define it for United States of America. Okay, nothing is defined. Let me see for UK if it is there or not. Okay, anyway, so normally what happens, this location wise, we normally define it like if I'm in India, if I'm in UK, if I'm in US or in UAE also, which all location. Like suppose, for example, if I'm working in India itself, and if I'm having a, say, healthcare division, for healthcare division, they have to work. For them, it cannot be a public holiday, okay? But for the back office staff, the location is maybe in some other, so that. And this geography, so what we have to do it, we have to include it. Now normally this is not displaying the hierarchy. Ideally what happen, the hierarchy will come up and we will select which all location we want to include it. So once we select the location, let me see if I can. Yeah, okay, if it is coming as a part of the SCM. So what I will say for example, under the US, I want to define this as a public holiday. Okay, so I will just simply select this. So this is got included. Rest of the location will be get excluded. So if any employee belongs to this particular country or belongs to this particular legislation, okay, then they will be getting an automatic off. Clear? How to create a calendar event in an application? Okay. Now, other important topic on this part is on the workflow approval. We will go through some basic. Again, I normally had already discussed this, but I will again give you the overview and overall idea how it's going to get work. See, Oracle has defined a like it's not like eBase or some other where we need to configure the workflow itself. Okay, those who are from the ERP background, for them, like where we are creating a workflow itself, the workflow engine is already available. Okay, workflow engine is already available. What we have to do it, we just have to configure the rules. Okay, we have to configure the rules. Now these rules are attached to my processes. Okay, so that we have to how the hierarchy built on this our approval is part is that one is the workflow engine, which is already by default a functionality of an Oracle, so we don't have to worry about it how the workflow need to be get defined. It is perfectly defined. It is perfectly configured to send the email notification as well as to send the notification on my inbox within the application. So that also we don't have to define it. Okay, so these two things are already available in an application as a part of the workflow engine. So we don't have to define an SMTP where what to configure what. No, on cloud application, these things are taken care by the Oracle. Okay, we just have to start running the start configuring the rule. Now there are different types of rules now. Okay, now there are different types of rule, and the rules we have to define it for the processes. What are the processes? So there can be a different processes. So for example, it can be process of new hire, it can be process of promote. Okay, it can be process of creating a new grade. Okay, it can be process of updating a grade. Okay, update grade. There can be a process of leave. Okay, single assignment leave, I am just putting as a leave. So these are my different processes. For each of these processes there is a defined workflow engine. Okay, and for these process, what we have to do, we have to configure a multiple rules. Okay, so what are the rules? Rules normally consist of my condition. and the action. Okay. So what I mean by the rules. So for example, if I am writing a logic that if annual leave, okay, if annual leave is submitted by HR, okay, if annual leave is submitted by HR, then what action it should perform? That approval required from line manager. Okay, this is the one action. Now it can have a subsequent action also. Now once line manager approve it, okay, once the line manager approve it, what next action is should done? Now, once the line manager approve it, it should go for the approval for the maybe it go for the for your information to the department secretary. Okay. So what you have to do it whenever there is a requirement or whenever there is a thing that we have to configure, always ask the question in your back of your mind that what condition I want to satisfy it. Okay. So one part of my rule is that business will give you the condition. This is my conditions. Okay. Business will give you the action as well. Okay. What action it should be get performed. Okay. It can be having a one action or it can be having a more than one action as well. Okay. So this condition we have to write in an application. So it will work as a part of if condition and then. Okay. So if I go a little bit more on the logical way, so if my condition is true, okay, if my condition is true, then I have to perform a certain action. If this condition is false, okay, if this condition is false, then my second condition should able to trigger it. Then I have to write a action. Okay. Now, in one particular process, okay, when I talk about the processes are new hire, processes are promote, new process are new grade. Okay. In this processes, what I'm writing, I am writing a rules. I am writing a rules and it can have a multiple rules defined based on the requirement. In this particular rule, only one condition can only be true. Always remember, whenever we are writing the rules in my processes, only one condition can be true. It cannot have that I have a multiple processes, multiple condition are satisfying my rules. Okay, so this is the basic rule that we should keep in mind.
Part is also not there. This part, if, then, else, like that.
No, there is no else part. That's what I'm enforcing you. That only one condition should be true. If I have written two condition in that scenario, in this two condition, this should be false and this should be true. Okay. That we have to take care. That's all. If you're able to take care of this portion in your configuration. So how to do it? Whenever you are getting a requirement, use your Excel sheet, write down the business requirement, what they are asking for, put it in if condition, if this, and then what action is required. Again, if they're asking this and that, again, use that second. So for example, if they're asking if annual leave is submitted by HR or line manager, then it should go for the approval. So I cannot write or condition over there. Okay? I can write or within the condition I can write it. Okay, if it's submitter or HR or, but that condition can also, that one particular condition should only be true. Now for configuring it, how we can able to go and configure it. So for configuring this application, we'll log into the application. Okay. There are some basic understanding. I will make it clear. Okay. So for doing this, there is a transition console is there. Okay. Under the tools. Okay. Under the tools, what you have to do is that we have to go down to the transaction console. Okay. Now this transaction console is not only be used for defining my rules, but even for checking it that if anything is getting stuck in my workflow or not. Okay. So this is my transaction manager. On the top, you will find the transaction summary. Uncheck this, delete this. So here you will find whatever the submission I have done. See, recently I had applied for this particular leave in the system. Okay. Status is showing as an approval. Okay. It is already approved. Okay. So this is the This is the processes, whatever is submitting, whether it is from the purchasing department, whether it is from the AR, whether it's from the payables, all my requests will, or whether it's from the ORC, okay, all my requests will come over here. If it is failed, if it is in progress, if it is got stuck, then when we can take an action, we have an option to revert it or delete that particular, terminate that particular transaction, so that it can be get initiated along. Okay. So this is the one portion that we should be aware of it. So if someone asks you that I apply for a leave, can you please check to whom it is pending? So we can directly go and come to this particular transaction console and we can identify, yes, this is submitted by this particular person. Now we had not put any approval rule over there, so it is got approved automatically. Clear? Another portion is analytics. It's of not that use. It's just provide some statics over there. Sometimes it not even provide the statics also. Okay. So, okay. Nothing has been configured in this particular environment, but yes, these are the report that we can able to embed it. Okay, this is already there. 740 members. How many active employee, inactive users, inactive members? Okay, so this is some analytics which will coming as a part of my loyalty program. Okay, if I want some other, so this all we can able to define it. This is again no use for us in our practical usage. We don't normally use it. Archive transition summary. Normally what happen, we archive these transactions like maximum of 9 months, maximum of 9 months if we want to see it, or we can give a date range like if we cannot keep it these transactions for a long time. Okay, so we can archive them after 3 months or 9 months of time period. How to configure the rules? How to configure the rules? Same under the transaction manager, we have to come to the approval rules. From the approval rules, these are the different processes. Okay, these are the different processes. And as I mentioned that we normally do the archiving. So here we can select it that we can choose for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or don't archive. If you are not archiving it, it will come and pile up over here. Some performance issue may appear on my transaction console. So best practice is that archive the records. What records? The transaction that is happening, that the workflow or the notification that are going it, archive them for the 9-month period of time, and that is more than enough for an audit process. Okay. Here, like I mentioned it, we can see it multiple processes. So, for example, hire an employee. Hire an employee is one of my process which I want to configure an approval. Okay. Here we having an option where it's a bypass approval. So when I click on this bypass approval, in the sense, if I am performing a transaction, it will not go for the approval. It will submit automatically. That means the transaction which I am going to perform, it will go and save in my database. Clear? So what is the functionality of bypass approval is that it will not go and trigger the workflow. Alert initiator on the error, like if some error happen, maybe for example, I am applying for a leave and my manager resigned from the organization, or maybe he is inactive in the organization. So what happened is that I should be getting an alert that your transaction could not able to proceed. So if I'm checking this particular box, then only I will able to, then only I will able to get the error message. Clear about the basic functionality of transaction console? Okay. Now, how to configure the rule? So we are discussing on the absence part, and here is a test for all of you. So we are having a different different are there. So global absence recording for the single assignment, global absence recording for the multiple assignment. Okay. So single assignment is meant where we have configured it. It is for the single assignment. If we are using a 2-tier model with multiple assignment, we have to configure the multiple assignment. Now, if you noticed it, in this, there is no bypass approval checkbox. Why so? Who will be the hero of the class today? Who can answer this question? For others, like for example, we have seen it, hire an employee, we've seen that there is an option called the bypass approval. What does it mean?
Yes, these are
That means not go for approval. If you will bypass, it will not go to
it
the
will not go for approval, but like legally, like approval is needed. I mean, as per the law.
As per
I
the
think
law.
so.
Okay. Okay. So here come the law master.
So it mandatory for approval is mandatory.
Approval is mandatory. But I say no, I am the boss of this company. Why should my leave should go to the HR? Where the law come? Prasad.
Hold on.
I am the boss. I am the owner of the company. Why should my leave go for approval? Who will approve my leave? I myself will approve, na?
No, right?
Hmm?
No,
It
even
goes to mostly to okay.
And I had given you the hint when I was when we were learning in the absence classes. I have given the hint, and I say I
It
will ask.
goes to HR. I mean, if the boss mostly, even if the CEO, there are the HR department where it goes to validate those things.
At least for record purpose, it has to go for the approval. Even though if you are a CEO,
it is not. But I think it is not for like every legislation. I think it is not common one.
It's
I
common.
can see let me see. I was just in my environment because I think.
Check it. Okay. If you want, I can give a single day also to think on it and why it is not available over here.
Actually, this global is above the legislation, all the legislation. It's like a global payroll, global HR is a common one for all the countries.
Yeah, it's common for all. Yeah, it's not depend on the legislation, which is correct. Okay, so I will give you a day. Okay, and just find out that why it is not there for the approval, bypass approval in the absences. Okay. Now, how to configure the absence? We have time is there. Let me show it to you. Then tomorrow I will give some example to configure it. So for configuring the rule, okay. So for configuring the rule, we will go and select this global absence recording, and then click on this pencil icon. Okay, we click on this pencil icon. Some places there are some predefined sample will be there so that we can able to use it for defining our own approval rules. Okay, so as I mentioned it to you, okay, so this is what I mentioned it, that first of all we have to think about the rule. If you remember it, that this portion, okay, this condition, one part is the condition, and after the condition, the action, what action is required. Now action, can it be action 1, it can be action 2, it can be action 3, and so far and so on. We can have multiple action, but in my rule it can have a one single condition. So in this particular example, how many conditions are there? 1, 2,
3.
and 3 conditions. Whereas and then the action is there. So if I go and click on this particular Eclipse box, okay, below you will find what the condition is written over here. Okay, below you will find, now this status is inactive, like it is not active in my application, but anyway we will discuss more in detail about it. Second, if I see this particular condition, okay, manager is also inactive. Okay, anyway we have to select this Eclipse over there. This is also inactive, but normally what happen, what condition is written, we have to configure the rule condition over here. Okay, we have to configure the rule condition over here, that what condition I want to write it. So it is written absence approval request user mode to uppercases MGR. Now this is something which I will explain it to you tomorrow, that what is this all about, how we will came to know it, what are these codes, we are not aware of it. Tomorrow I will go into the detail of configuring the workflow, but for now what you have to understand, we have to write the conditions. These are the conditions we normally write, and then we can have a certain action. Say for example, there is a non-managerial rule is there, then it will go for the management hierarchy, and from the right hand side, okay, if you can see it over here, approvers are there. These are the actions. Okay, these are the actions. So here you will see action 1, action 2. So from where the action will come. So in the management hierarchy, then we have to see maybe an auto approval, or maybe we can send it to one particular user itself. Okay, so this we will going to learn tomorrow, but this is a placeholder where we are going to configure the absence workflow. Okay, tomorrow is important. Don't miss the class. And those who had not done the presentation on Friday, be ready, because tomorrow we are going to go. I'm mentioning it. It's not going to be a surprise, because this will take another 10 to 15 minutes to understand how to configure it. I don't want to start the new module tomorrow. We'll start it day after tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, we are going to start the performance management. Okay. So tomorrow, what we will do, we will configure this approval workflow, and then you all have to do a presentation, whoever are not done on other particular day. Clear to all of you? Okay. Yes or no? Am I audible?
Yes, Raj, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Yeah.